Yeah, so, well, hello, I am Aman Sharma. I introduced myself before. And so today in this talk, basically, I'll be talking about rendering of lists simply using Vue.js. And what do I mean by list over here? List basically, mm, we almost see it every day, the lists on social media, especially in these COVID times. You might be seeing it a lot. And you're using Instagram and stuff like that. So the feeds that are coming simply are what? An array or a list of some kind. So this is a pretty basic talk, but we will be covering the rendering part, the basic part, and also some caveats as well that may occur, and also a very subtle bug that I faced once. So I find this interesting. So I'll be sharing that as well in this talk. Yeah, so let's get started. Yeah, so the first is simply rendering an array. We'll be doing that using Vue.js. So what Vue.js has is Vue.js has a v for directive, and it is pretty much like the for in loop of JavaScript. And so what we have in this case is if we have an array named items, and that is the source data array, and if we use v for in this way, in this manner, so we can write item in items, where item will be the alias uh, uh, for array element, for that for each particular array element. And what this v for will do, it will repeat the li element as many as times as much items are there in the items array, and it will print all of those things. It will render all those this thing in the DOM. So as simple as that. And just a simple example over here as well. One second. Yeah, so you can see this is the very basic code as I showed, items item, and here is the Vue instance. This is the items array, and it is being printed over here. Now this is one thing, and another a bit of an extension to this is that you can also use you can also get index while iterating over the items. So simply item is an basically is an index, is at index. So item 1 is at index 0, 2 is at 1, 3 is at 2. So yeah, this is a pretty basic rendering of any list in Vue.js. But the next thing is one second. So next thing is that these things, like in Vue.js, pretty much everything is reactive. So well, this is also reactive. And when I say that, I don't mean that it's 100% reactive. It's not, because it has its own caveats, which I will be discussing again. But let me show you a simple example, reactive in what manner. So one second. So this is a simple Vue.js list I have rendered. So each list, basically each item is a tweet, a simple tweet. So this is basically 3 tweets are rendered over here. This is the data. I've created a component named tweetbox, and basically this is a tweet box. And yeah, I've used that component over here. Use that component over here, and I'm iterating over it v for, using v for one tweet in tweets, right? So, and I'm passing tweet, whatever is coming as a single object, I'm passing it into this tweet box as a property, and that property is basically received here, and hence basically everything is rendered. Well, anyways, so yeah, I was saying, so basically I have added 2 buttons over here, which one will add a random tweet, and one will basically pop the last tweet. So we have 3 tweets here. So when we click on add a tweet, there's one random tweet added. So basically what is happening here is whenever we click on this button, one new object gets pushed into this array. And what Vue is doing, since this is reactive, So view is automatically showing it over here, and similarly if I'm removing something, it is also being reflected directly over here. This is the reactive part. But again, I'm saying it doesn't mean that it's always reactive. Whenever I'm saying that I make a change somewhere in the array, that's true. In certain ways, if I make changes, it will stay reactive, but in some way it won't be reactive anymore, and that we'll be discussing later on. Apart from this, v-for directive can also be used with an object. We can iterate over an object as well, but only on the first level of it, not to the very depth. And in a very similar way, we have the object. We will apply v-for value in object, which is basically not the key, but the value of each property of that object. We can iterate over that. Now, again, two examples I have for this, because similarly, just like v-for with arrays, you can iterate over here. This is the object. It has title, author, and published at. And HTML is pretty simple, pretty basic. And you can see that we have iterated over that, and the value has been printed over here, right? So this was the value of each property of this object. But now there is again, like we had the index thing. Here we can get the key as well, value comma key in object, and simply we can use it this way. So this is a very basic implementation of v-for by now. Now now we're going to get into some little tricky stuff. So maintaining state. Now there's something known as key attribute, which has to be used with v-for, and we'll know why is it so important to use that. But first of all, let me just clear something out. So when I showed you the tweets, basically the 3 tweets, so we need to understand what is the applications, basically what data is related to the application state and which data is related to the temporary DOM state. So in those cases, whatever was being rendered in those places, like this image, this everything, this message and everything, these were being rendered directly from the data. And this is reactive data is reactive, and so this is actually the application state. Now the enter your comment fields were empty, so whatever I enter in them and I leave it that way, it will stay in the temporary DOM state. You just keep that in mind. You'll understand what I'm trying to say later on. So we now know what application state is and what a DOM state is. Now what Vue does. Now Vue.js has a strategy of updating list of elements. Like whenever there are a list of elements, basically in this case, if there are these 3 tweets itself. So whenever there is a change in the order of these tweets, whenever there is a change in the order of the list of elements, what Vue does is it follows the in-place patch strategy. Now what exactly does it mean is that Vue will not pick up each HTML chunk and it will not shift those chunks. It will simply change the data that has been rendered over there. It won't change the HTML thing. It won't take the HTML chunk and move it totally. So it's like it's basically an effort to increase performance, because as lesser of the DOM manipulation we do, that is much better. So Vue tries to excel in that. So this is an in-place patch strategy. Again, I'm saying we won't whenever there's a change in order of elements, the data is only changed. Only the data at each of those places is changed. Basically whatever is in the data is directly reflected, but not the HTML part is moved at all. Because logically if we see, so the HTML part is same, right? Each and every HTML part is anyways same. So this is what normally happens. The in-place it uses the in-place patch strategy. Now what if we do it like this? Similarly, if there's a, for example, this is basically these are consider this block and yeah, one second. Yeah, consider this block and this block as two HTML chunks. So this is basically something that this is X, and it is rendering data from application state, and it has some temporary DOM state XYZ, and this is a chunk Y, which is also coming from application state and has ABC as a temporary DOM state. Now if we swap both of these, if we swap X and Y, if we swap the order, so what will happen is the order of the, now according to Vue, according to the in place patch strategy, Vue will change the data that was rendered over here. It won't pick up this whole block and shift it here. It will only change the data. Thus what happens is it will change the data of X and Y, but XYZ will remain the same because those were not related to data at all. Those were temporary DOM states. Those were not related to the application state at all. So now this is a problematic state. Now this doesn't usually come up as a problem, but still it's a problematic thing. And let me show you in practical how what do I mean by things. Okay, so yeah, so it's the words are visible, right? Hello?
Yes, Sam, visible.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So yeah, so it's the same example again, the tweets, different tweets example. So now just I have a new button over here, which is the shuffle button, and all it will do is basically shuffle, randomly shuffle everything. So now what I'm going to show is I'll write something over here. I'll write this, and this is a comment commented by Thanos, for example, and I've just written it over here, and there's nothing to it. It's just entered into the temporary DOM state. Now when I shuffle, you see this Thanos comments doesn't move at all. Why? Because it belonged to the HTML, it belonged to the DOM state, temporary DOM state, and what Vue does is it just changes the data. It just changes the data over here. It doesn't move the HTML at all. So this may seem like a very not a huge problem right now, but when things get complex, it creates a lot of problems. And not only in the case of temporary data, as I just showed you that this is a tweet box. This is a component that I've created. This one single component I've created, and I'm basically iterating this several times, this component on this component. So not only if I've written something in the temporary DOM state, if this was to be another child component, and whatever I've entered is basically stored in the child component, and it is reciprocated over here, then the similar thing would have happened. If anything is happening, basically what is happening is I have three components, and each component has its own child component. So whenever there's a change, Vue doesn't know where to keep this, so it just keeps it wherever it was. So it may happen when whenever there's something in the temporary DOM state, or the data is dependent on the child component state, and we change the order and things get like this. So what is the solution to this? What is the solution to this is, now the solution over here is to use the keys attribute, and the keys attribute is as simple as I told you that this was a one single chunk, right? So what was the problem last time when I swapped these two chunks? So this ABC was in the this ABC and XYZ was in the DOM state of X and Y respectively, but they didn't change at all their order, as if they didn't even belong to X and Y basically. So now when I'm using the keys attribute, what keys attribute allows me to do is it just allows me to add a unique ID to those things. So this, for example, this HTML chunk now has an ID equals to 1 now, and this other chunk has an ID equals to 2. Now if I swap x and y, it is not only x and y which is being swapped, it's the 1 and 2 which is being swapped. So entirely ABC and y will be swapped. So this solution is the only solution in this case. So again, this example, the same example, but over here what we have done is we have used key attribute, and this key attribute we are assigning simply the tweet.tweet ID. Each ID is unique, 1 2 3. And now let's do the same thing. Yeah, and let's see if it works. See, it works. It is moving with the whenever this Thanos data moves, it moves with that, because now this is associated with this chunk as a whole, this DOM state. So this way, maintaining state happens in Vue.js, and I actually have to show you another example. So this happened to me. This example that I just showed you is pretty simple, but there was this feature that I was implementing in deep source. So the feature was pretty simple. Yeah, one second.
Aman, sorry to interrupt you. It's a
Mhm.
time check.
Yeah,
maybe
sure. Okay.
in
Yeah.
5 minutes more. To
Yeah, sure.
take, yeah.
Sure.
Sorry for it. We are running little late.
Yeah, not a problem. Sure. So just one in a short while I'll explain everything. So so the problem was what happens when somebody logs on to deep source and they just are onboarded. What they have to do is they have to select their analyzers and everything, and they a toml is generated and everything. So the toml is generated in real time when I was implementing this. So something freaky happened. See, this I have recreated the bug over here. Whenever I type something, it is printed over here. That's cool. It comes under the Go section. But when I delete it, okay, the Go section is gone. But when I type something over here, this state is persisting. This thing is persisting, and it was just killing me because I didn't know the solution at that time. So it took me more than half a day. So this thing was simply what was happening over here is these three are separate Vue components, and these three are Vue components, and its data basically these are the child of a whole single component of this, and this data whichever is going in this child component, it is returning a certain data back to be represented in the toml JSON. So whenever I stored something over here, it was stored it was stored in the state of each and every component, and that same situation was created again. So in the end, the solution was to just apply the keys attribute. Now the next thing is array change detection. Basically, what Vue can do is the detection of changes in array. Mutation methods, all the mutation methods, we know the mutation methods like the methods which allow us to make a change into the array, into the existing array. So these are simply those methods, and the changes done by this is simply reactive. So these are changes are recognized. Replacing an array. So basically these kind of methods like filter, concat, and slice. So these methods return its own array, right? So if, for example, that list of tweets, if you want to filter out the list of tweets on the basis of something, so we'll use this filter and we'll replace the original data with whatever it's returning. So what Vue does fantastically over here is it doesn't again allow to create new the whole new HTML lists. It doesn't allow to create new HTML chunks. It tries its best to reuse almost all of it because most of the data is overlapping. So this is one thing that happens. Next are this is last, and next are the caveats in change detection. Whenever there's so when things are changing, there are some cases in which changes are not detected. So first case is this. if I have data, and VM, if this is basically VM. So if I'm changing something in A, I'm changing the value, that will be reactive, that will be shown. But if I'm changing but if I'm adding a new property, then it will not be reactive. So what we basically use in this case is view.set, and view.set is like one of those answers. Wherever there is not a reactivity occurring, we can make it occur by using view.set, because it allows us to add a reactive property to any object. So a simple example to that is this. This is, I'm showing you directly the solution. Normally, if this was not the solution, if I click on this, there would not be a new property added. But right now we can add this property, because I'm using view.set over here to add a new property into this prop1 into this object. And apart from this, for I have explained about objects, and the another caveat are in the arrays, and that is if we are there are two caveats here, and one is if we are simply directly changing something at an index, basically at index 0, 1 or somewhere, we're directly changing something, it won't be reactive. And the other one is if you are trying to change the length of the array directly like this, it won't be reactive. So again, the solution for both of these is, one is view.set. Again, as I said before, this reactive thing can be solved easily by that. And the other is we can use items.splice method. So splice method, as I told you, the replacing an array part, it basically these kinds of functions can be easily traced by view. So yeah, again I'll directly show you the solution. So yeah, so change value at 2, index 2. So the value gets changed. If I reduce array to array length to 2, the value gets changed. If this was since I have used over here items.splice and view.set, as I explained, since I've used this, it has worked. Otherwise it wouldn't have worked. So this was pretty much the overview of list rendering, and yeah, if you are curious more about to learn more about how reactivity is working over here and what view.set is and everything, so you can dig more deeper into the Vue.js documentation. Simply Vue.js, you can search Vue.js list rendering. Yeah, so thank you.
Awesome.
And any questions?
Okay, just before the question, so next topic will start in 5 minutes.
Sure.
So if you have any questions on this topic or previous topic, we can use this 5 minutes. Or if you want to take a break in that also, you can take break in
Yeah.
that 5 minutes. So next session will just start in 5 minutes. And next session will be by Bharat. It's about open source pass using Node.js, how he have built the mothership. So
Yeah.
that will be our next topic
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Bharat Agrawal, just
yeah.
after 5 minutes. Yep. So
Yeah.
Aman, you can use this 5 minutes if anyone has any question.
Yeah, anyone has any questions, that's fine. I can take questions.
Aman, this is Manoj here.
Yeah, hi Manoj.
Okay, Aman, I'm very sorry. I had a different session. I just logged in for this session now. I'm extremely sorry. But Aman, I'm from a finance background, but currently I'm interested in the technology.
Yeah.
So I'm very much interested in using the public APIs. So if I need to use the APIs like LinkedIn's API or Google's API, how much of the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript I should be aware of?
Actually, not mostly. I think you should be aware of JavaScript, and HTML and CSS would just you just need to get the data from the API, right? So for that you need to be more aware of the JavaScript part. So HTML, CSS, I don't think it's okay. Yeah, the basic knowledge, you not CSS. I don't think so. If you're just experimenting with the API, so you don't even need CSS. You just need to get the data, and you just need to display it on your screen. So HTML is fine for that.
Aman, I see I've started learning Python. So for my purpose of using the API, is there a requirement of Python with JavaScript, or just JavaScript is enough?
No, I don't think so that you'll be needing Python, because you already have an API which is served somewhere, and you just need to get data from that API on your client side. So on your client side, JavaScript is the only thing that you can do with something.
Aman, is there any video in YouTube or something you can recommend? I mean, which helps in the initial stage? ऐसे कुछ course in Udemy?
Yeah, so yeah, there are a lot of courses. I can probably share it in the chat once we're done with the questions. Will that be fine?
Yes, bhai. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, bhai.
Any other questions?
Yeah, if others doesn't have any questions, I would like to pick up one question.
Yeah.
One thing is, I mean, it's too generic, not sure whether it's appropriate question as well.
Uh-huh.
I mean, nowadays you see a lot of frameworks coming out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the quite popular Angular, React, and then Vue.
Yeah.
So when it comes to rendering part, I hear that Vue has got its own advantages compared to other frameworks. Do you have any insights on? Can you maybe just a brief comparison on what way it is different? So not sure whether it's the right question, but
yeah. No, actually it's a good question because I was about to start the talk by saying that I'll be talking about Vue, the framework that pissed a lot of React.js users. So well, anyways, so yeah, so the rendering part, right? So again, if you have used the React.js, so it has its own render function, and whatever the code is written, the HTML code, it's in JSX. So Vue also does that. It just has its own layer over it. It's nothing like much more, and that's why we call Vue as a framework and React as a library. So yeah, there's like in case of rendering over here in Vue, all we need to do is just define a Vue instance as I showed you over here, and assign the EL tag to basically something. So that's as simple as that in Vue. But I know in React, guys have to use the render function and everything.
I'm not a React guy. I'm a loyal supporter of Angular.
Okay.
I've been through Angular 1 and then in Angular X now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I would like to. I heard quite a lot about the Vue.js, so more curious on what way it is different.
Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of things actually, but the most basic thing is like so my comparison is always. I have not used React a lot, but the little bit of comparison that I have is with React because I have used it a little bit. So what I saw was like basically the separation of concerns. There was separation of concerns in React as well, but separations of concerns of basically the template part and the JavaScript part and things like in React.js it was more like it's again my perspective. It was more like the state and the JavaScript is separated, is decoupled. But in Vue.js basically the HTML part, the template part, and the whole JavaScript part is very much decoupled. So it feels like you are writing HTML basically, and you're using some JavaScript, basically Vue over that. But in React it's a little different, like you are using JavaScript and you are creating templates through JavaScript basically, right?
Okay.
Aman, one last question.
Sure.
How should I understand what is the framework library module and function? I mean, how should I understand this?
So library module. So basically, it's a question, like it's a very famous interview question. But this framework and library difference, what I know, I'm just sharing that. I'm not really strong on that. But what I'm sharing is whenever there is a library, basically it is a fundamental, basically a unit. It's directly built over the core language, a library, and the framework is built over on the basically the layer of the library using that basically library. So that's why Vue.js is a framework and React is a library. So that's just my perspective. There can be many answers to this question.
So sorry to interrupt, Aman. You can still be online.
Yeah, cool.
All can ask questions to Nitish. He can chat on. So we'll be moving to our next session.
Sure.
So Bharat, over to you. Thank you, Aman.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.